Okay, so I want to talk about something real quick before I begin this anime review of Assassination Classroom episode 12. I was contacted by Leak ID. You know, the video I made yesterday was about the copyright strike. Leak ID contacted me last night, close in the middle of the day. They contacted me and saying they would remove the strike ASAP. Now, at the moment of me making this video, the strike is not gone, but they did contact me and tell me that they will be removing the strike as fast as they can. So, hopefully, the strike will be removed by either today, tomorrow, or Monday, because Sundays don't count since it's not a business day, and maybe even Saturdays don't count either. So I'm just letting you know right now, Leak ID did contact me, and I will be making a video special on that type of event once the strike is removed, and just talk about, you know, all the things that happen, for instance, all the support and stuff. Anyways, let's talk about this episode of Assassination Classroom. I like how, in this episode, there was an extreme depiction of both of the senseis, the principal and Koro sensei, and how different their teachings are. Like, how similar and different their teachings are. That's kind of what this episode was going to show. How your teacher is, or how your teacher teaches you, as how you truly are. And that's what this episode tried to show us as the audience of Assassination Classroom. Because if you look at what this episode displayed to us, it was displaying two methods of teaching. Koro Sensei, that is a very compassionate teacher that cares about all his students, and he knows his students inside and out. Like, he knows all about them, he knows their psyche and stuff like that, and he knows what they want to do. And then you have it to where the principal is kind of similar in that fashion, but the way he goes about it, it could be more of a demeaning type way, or a person that's putting peer pressure on top of someone. So let's discuss both of these different, you know, methods of teaching. As we already know, Koro Sensei, it's very obvious how he teaches. He's a very kind and compassionate teacher, and he's a teacher you would want to teach you anywhere. Like, I mean, if there's one teacher I want, if I was to ever want to learn something, it would be Koro Sensei, because he goes out of his way, he goes the extra mile to teach his students, which is impressive in and of itself. So Koro Sensei is like the ideal teacher. Now, on the principal side, the principal, he has good teaching too. Like, he teaches well, and he does have some good teaching methods, but some of his methods are quite sketchy, and then you can actually consider some of the things when it comes to this episode that's kind of downright wrong. Because the depiction in this episode, when you see the main lead baseball player in this episode, like when you saw the dude that was, you know, being a monster, you know, he was wanting to win, like he's superior and above everybody, in the episode, with the animation art, I noticed that it was trying to show us that this dude was kind of like an ogre, or he was just a monster. That's what that scene, when you saw him with like the purple aura behind him, and you saw him holding like something that looked like a club. It wasn't a bat, it was like a club, and you saw him walking. In that moment, when I saw that scene, I didn't think of as a student, like a student that was trying to be superior. What I thought of was a dude that was just being a brain-dead, mindless zombie of a teaching method. And that right there is where the differences start showing in this episode. As Koro Sensei has taught many times before, he's the type of teacher that wants to encourage his students to try harder and be better. He encourages his students, and he allows them to learn kind of on their own. But you have it to where the principal, he was kind of being more forceful with his teaching, and he eventually came to the point to where he was kind of turning his students that he was teaching in the baseball match as mindless zombies. Like, he was turning them into mindless zombies. Like, when you saw the main, like, batter, he was walking up and all that, like, it looked like an ogre zombie thing. That was kind of show us that he's kind of like a mindless zombie, just following what his peers say, and he's not really being taught in the proper fashion. And he might eventually become a drone in society. Like, for instance, he'll listen to his boss, but he won't question if something very bad happens. That's kind of what that scene tries to show. It's like, if your boss was to tell you something, you would do it, but if your boss gave you an order that was kind of not a good order, like, let's say, an order that could possibly put someone's life on the line, or, you know, get someone killed, that's the type of thing that the principal was teaching. It's like, you better follow your superior. That's what he was saying. And Koro Sensei is not like that. You should question your superior if it's going to cause someone to get hurt or get killed or something like that. So yeah, that's the difference in teaching methods you can get from this episode. Now, it's a little bit deep. Like, I went a little bit deep on the way I interpreted the meaning behind this episode. Some might not see it. Some might see it. Some might think I'm full of hot air and I'm talking out my ass. But, I mean, Assassination Classroom has already proved many times before that it is a very deep series, and it does have a lot of different things going on behind the scenes. And that's why I assume that this episode is trying to let us know. Like, for instance, you have the boss that wants you to listen to him no matter what, even if he wants you to hurt someone, and you have the boss that wants you to question and wants you to be safe and try your best, but make sure you think on your own and don't act like a machine. That's the two different sides of this episode. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.